Virginia, and these are my dogs Takoda and Zion. We're going to show you a fun little exercise today. It's another treat-based exercise, and it's a lot of fun. The boys love this one. So it's similar to an exercise I've shown before where I encourage a dog to, when they want to come up to me to say hello, I encourage them to learn basically an automatic sit. So anytime they come up to me and they jump on me, they don't get a treat. Maybe I'll even turn and walk away. But if they come up to me and offer a sit, without me telling them anything, then they get a cookie. So that's great to kind of teach the dog what to do and to know what to do. But we also want to teach them actual vocabulary. We want to teach them a signal for sit or signal for down. And sometimes you use a hand signal for that, and sometimes you use the words. So I like my dogs to know both. They're both pretty good at hand signals, and Zion is actually very good at the words too. But Takoda sometimes guesses at the words, at what he thinks I want, and he's not always accurate. So one of the things people sometimes have a hard time with is when they've taught the dog down, a lay down cue. Very good, that's right. Sometimes the dogs get confused between sit and lay down because now they know two tricks, and sometimes they just start guessing at which one you want. So this is a little game to kind of help them work on understanding the words. So because they use they learn hand signals kind of faster than they do words. I'm going to use the hand signal to back up the word if they don't get the word. But I'm going to try and use the word first. So I'll show you what I mean. So first I'm going to distract them. So when they come back over to me, now they're beating me to it. But I just want them to sit. So I'll say sit. You see Zion was laying down and he actually sat, whereas Takoda, because I didn't give him a treat right away, he was sitting, he lay down instead. So again, he's guessing. And now Zion's hoping for a treat, so he's trying everything he knows too. So again, if I very clearly, no matter what they're doing, standing, sitting, laying down, what have you, if I say sit, as Zion's sitting, he gets the treat. Takoda's not sitting, so he's not going to get a treat. So what's interesting about doing this exercise with both of them is Takoda sees Zion getting the treats, and he's not really sure why. Sit. Sit. Very good. And sometimes Zion guesses too. Good. So where he's not catching on me saying sit, and Zion sitting, Zion getting the treat, I'm going to help him. I'm going to use my hand signal. Good. Which, if your dog's standing, get them here. So when he comes over to me, if I give the hand signal, and you can use whatever, very good, whatever hand signal you want, but this is what he's learned is this kind of position. Means sit, and this means down. Zion thought that meant jump. Because for him, we actually do some tricks where that does mean jump, so that was a little confusing for him. It's hard when they're at different stages. So my hand signal for sit, good boy. And then for down, down. The problem with hand signals is they have to be watching you. Down. So sometimes, like Zion's a little more familiar with me using one finger to point down. Because sometimes I'll have, when I first started doing this with them, I had a treat in my hand, and so I would point down to the ground because I'm holding the treat. Or I might point, to bring them back up. Yes. So, hey, he thinks I dropped it. Go. Good. So it doesn't matter what your hand signal is, and you'll see they'll respond to either one of them, whether I'm just using one finger, very good, or the whole hand. It doesn't really matter. So ideally, pick a hand signal that you like. There's a lot of different types of things out there. And then just try and stick with it. But I want them to learn the word. I want them to focus on what I'm saying and not just what my hands are doing or not trying to guess. So to keep it simple, we're just going to go back and forth between the sit and the down. I'm not adding in stand or back up or any other cues. But I'm just going to go back and forth a little bit and see if Takoda can figure it out. I tried this earlier today, and he actually had some really good success where he saw Zion doing the exercise and he did it really well too. So we'll try again. So down. say the word first and then give them a few seconds to see if they figure it out. So without any hand signals, I've got my hands just sitting here in the bag. They know there's treats. Sit. Boy. So I want Zion to know he's doing a good job. He's staying sitting. Sit. Sit. Good. So you have to decide how long you want to do the waiting game. How long are you going to wait? Because you don't want the dog, oh, very good. You don't want the dog getting frustrated. You don't want him getting confused and giving up. We want to make sure he's still interested in the game. Very good. So I nearly gave up, and I nearly gave him the hand signal to help him out when he did it on his own. So you see I'm giving him a lot of rewards for that, because I really, I want him to understand, like, wow, good job thinking. You know, this is an exercise that he really has to think. Down. Good. So he has that. They both have that really well. But going from a down to a sit is harder. It's something we don't always practice. So we'll try again. Down. Start from the down. Down. Now you're just guessing. Sit. Good. Sit. Sit. So I am repeating the word, but I'm not doing it so close together that he might think that the cue is sit, sit, sit. And I'm reinforcing Zion for staying in his sit so nicely. Sit. And he really wants the treat, so he has to think about what he has to do. Sit. Sit. Come on, you can do it. Sit. Sit. No. Good. And this is a problem that happens when you start teaching your dog multiple tricks. You know, paw, jumping up, target. Sometimes they get confused. Good boy. And they start just guessing at what you want, and they offer all sorts of different things. Down. So it's helpful to kind of separate things a little bit and, you know, down. Try and really make sure it's very clear to your dog what is the word that for the behavior you want, or what is the hand signal, and make sure you're training it independently. Sit. 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 Very good. You know, it's really hard to wait that long. It's really hard. You know, I'm thinking, like, is he still trying? Is he still thinking? Good boy. Okay. And I try not to make too many repetitions of just up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. You know, we'll take little breaks. You know, where I'll have them go search for something, or we'll go do another exercise. This is something maybe I'll only do for a few minutes, a few repetitions. And then take a break from it, because it's hard sometimes for them to think so much. Down. We're going to try one more time. Good boys. Good. Sit. Very good. Oops. Sit. Sit. Good. Come on. Sit. Yes! Good boy! Good boy! So he did it a lot faster that time, so I'm giving him a jackpot, giving him 5 cookies, one at a time. So not 5 in a handful, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yay! He knows he did a really super job. Very good. And what'll be interesting with him, the same sort of thing happened with when I taught him paw. He had a really hard time learning it. And I practiced it for a few minutes like this, and then took a few days off and didn't try it. The next time I went to try it, he did it right away. It was amazing. So he had time to process it. He had a great experience with it, and he remembered. Yeah, good boy. All right, have fun with that. Have a great day.
job, fellas.